Welcome to CTV News, Your Canada. It's Thursday, December 4th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
Okay, you coming across?
To get to school, Beatrice Good must navigate this busy Cornwall intersection.
And I bike in hot weather, and I always cross here, and so I always see Rose.
You're welcome.
Crossing guard Rose Durley, who's ensuring children's safety.
That's why I'm here. I love the kids. I love working with them. I get into it and I can't get out of it. What's going on here? A party.
And her dedication hasn't wavered in 50 years. The city unveiled a plaque and bench on Wednesday in Rose's honor, marking her 5-decade commitment.
I never expected all of this.
We always talk about the important role that educators play in kids' lives. You know, crossing guards are a part of that.
An emotional event for her daughters.
There's so many children she's helped through that have difficulties in life, and she's always been there with a wholehearted spirit of you can do it, you can move forward, you can make your life better.
I'm very proud of my mom, Rose. She's very dedicated to stand out in the freezing cold.
She's such an inspiration, you know. Mom's 83 and she still works so hard and she has her own house and I'm so proud of her.
Even her granddaughter, Rose, named after her, used to cross here.
And I used to come here after school and hang out, so we go back home and hang out, and she made me her famous poutine.
Longtime friend Jeanette DePatty worked with Rose.
Thanks, Jeanette. We're all proud of her, proud of her. Something I never dream of. It's so awesome. The whole crowd that was here.
And neighbors like Dunk Walker, whose kids and now grandkids still cross here.
She's a great person to have her, and the kids still love her, and she still loves all the kids.
Is that me up there?
After half a century and keeping countless students safe, Rose sees no end in sight.
No, I'm not going to retire. No, not yet. I still feel good, healthy.
Today is for Rose.
She touches all of our lives.
But for her, it's still about the kids.
Oh, I'll be back here at 2 o'clock, 2 to 4, because I got some small little kids getting off of the bus, little from 4-year-old up to 8. Yeah. Now you're safe. I love it.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News, Cornwall.
First Nation.
Nico Papella is a living example of how a system can fail those who need it most.
Having the tornado come in, it just caused a lot of havoc.
He's a representative of people living with an intellectual disability. He's someone who's very engaged, even acting as the council president for Community Living Ontario. He'd been living on his own with some support when a tornado destroyed his home in 2022.
I do get assistance from my local agency for doing certain things, whether it's simple like apartment maintenance, doing some stuff in the community.
After the tornado, Nico received some immediate support. When government support ended, he had nowhere to go, and Nico became unhoused for a year and a half.
It was the fact that there was no follow-up once I was leaving from the hotel to go into like different places like a bed and breakfast or another motel. They weren't following up to say, hey, what kind of assistance do you need?
The system is crisis driven, so unless you're in a crisis, you're not going to get all the support you need.
Chris Beasley is the CEO of Community Living Ontario. He says that support for people with intellectual disabilities has dropped dramatically.
Over the past 30 years, we've had a cumulative investment in core funding of about 7%. So when you think about the cost of living's gone up over 60% in that time frame.
The result has been a fragmented system with nearly 40,000 people waiting for supportive housing.
Homelessness is huge in our sector. In fact, when we look at shelters in Toronto, up to 30% of people who are in the shelter system have a developmental disability. So totally overrepresented in that population. And human trafficking, huge disproportionate amount of human trafficking.
Last week, an ombudsman report titled Lost in Transition focused on what it calls the inappropriate hospitalization of adults with intellectual disabilities because there's no other supports available.
The financial costs to the province are enormous. Housing someone in a hospital bed for years is extraordinarily expensive.
The Ombudsman's report made 24 recommendations to the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services, and there remains a funding shortfall.
I'm waiting
to find supportive housing for my son.
Community Living Ontario has launched a campaign called Waiting to Belong in the hopes of helping to fill some of that funding gap. Because he found support, life has improved for Nico, taking part in a ceremony at Durham Council to recognize the day. He was married earlier this year and is back in his own home, helping him move life forward.
Like I was able to enjoy doing the things I wanted to do instead of having to constantly travel back and forth.
But there are many people that Nico advocates for who have not been so lucky. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
This is the busiest time of year for the folks at Rousseau Chocolatier.
I call Christmas for us as our Super Bowl.
Master chocolatier Julien Rousseau trained in France and Scotland before making Halifax home, and it's some local flavors he's incorporated into their chocolates that's helped the South End shop earn global recognition, winning 2 Academy of Chocolate Awards in London, England for their summer savory and Nova Scotia lavender chocolate.
This academy, it's very well renowned. It's like winning an Oscar, but for us, no.
Only 2 Canadian chocolatiers were recognized with awards this year. It's a notoriously tough competition with hundreds of entries worldwide.
So we try to use as much local ingredient as we can.
And the awards validate the long hours spent fine-tuning every recipe so it's just right.
The lavender, it's very difficult to work with lavender because if you put too much, it's like you're eating a bar soap.
And the news came in as an early morning thrill after Natalie received an email notice from the Academy of Chocolate.
And I right away opened it with, sleepy eyes and saw that we won silver for 2 of the chocolates that we submitted. And I jumped out of bed and Julian was in the shower, and I just burst in and I started yelling and screaming that we've won silver.
11 years in, Rousseau Chocolate is in a good place.
I'm very proud to be in this community and serve them with quality chocolate.
World-class chocolate here at home. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
It's a battle for Catholic high school hockey supremacy. The Monsignor Clare Cup was back on the ice this morning for its 27th year in Barrie, and students had a blast both on and off the ice.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love seeing everyone come together.
It's a really fun opportunity to hang out with your friends, enjoy hockey, and have friendly competition with the other Catholic schools in Barrie.
The Monsignor Clare Cup is named after the father of Catholic education in Simcoe County. Boys and girls teams from St. Peter's, St. Joseph's, and St. Joan of Arc took part in the one-day hockey tournament.
There's well over 2,000 kids between in the fans and the dance teams on the ice, and it's been a great celebration of our school since we began this.
The school spirit genuinely makes it more fun for the entire year. All these events make it just like a cooler school experience. It's what makes high school worth it.
Dressing up in your school colors is a big part of the experience for students. Those not playing participate in a dance-off between games. Even teachers have a blast dressing up and cheering on their students.
Absolutely, we've been practicing for weeks. We've been getting into the dances, we got all the equipment. It's been an amazing time. The school spirit is just so beautiful, and everyone just goes together and has a fun time.
I asked some of the students here today to snap some selfies, so here they are. Of course, a great day of hockey, both on the ice and school spirit off the ice. For the record, it was a clean sweep for St. Pete's, winning both the boys and girls championships. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
It's a custom Canadians are used to, leaving 15 to 20% at bars, restaurants, and for delivery drivers. But in recent years, consumers have noticed the expectation to tip is expanding.
Once in a while, encounter a place that has tipping that you're not really expecting it, like a dry cleaner, something like that, and I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of paying for the service. Why do I need to tip on top of it?
Consumer advocacy group Option Consommateur found tips are now being solicited at all types of businesses.
Des boulangeries, des chocolateries, des commerces de détail, des professionnels, des mécaniciens.
Lawyer Alexandre Plourde says a recent survey suggests Quebecers are growing frustrated and don't like the tactics sometimes being used to squeeze more out of customers.
When you go to pay, it's already set up for certain percentages, and it kind of makes it a bit weird if you don't tap on it.
They have 15%, good. You ever seen that one? 18 better and, really good. They're giving a value to the tip. That's a tough one too,
In May, Quebec banned that sort of practice. And now tips have to be calculated based on pre-tax totals. Plourde calls that a good first step.
Et on propose aussi d'encadrer les types de commerçants qui peuvent solliciter du pourboire.
He wants to limit the types of businesses that can ask for tips. And he says a 15% option should be mandatory.
Ce qui correspond à la norme sociale.
For people who rely on tips, like Jess Gagne, it's a tricky subject.
Tipping culture, what sucks about it, really, is that the workers are just not getting paid a fair wage. And then it falls back on the consumer.
She says it puts everyone in a tough spot.
It should be like a nice extra thing, whereas it kind of feels like an obligation right now.
But not everybody feels the pressure.
I mean, I feel like I've never been forced to tip, so it's fine.
And none of the people we spoke to today want the servers to pay the price. But for many, it feels like tipping culture has gone too far. Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
This is Windsor Police Canine Officer Smoke. The 18-month-old German Shepherd Malinois has passed his 15-week course and is now a member of the Windsor Police Service.
It's fair to say that our police dogs are some of the Windsor's most popular officers. Each time they assist with an arrest, it always gets people attention, and for good reason.
Originally from Holland, Smoke has been partnered with Constable Ryland Salmon for active duty.
It's more than a job. It's a lifetime dedication to our canine partners, to the service, and to the community, extending beyond the typical 9 to 5.
Smoke graduated today along with Canine Officer Shadow for the Sarnia Police Service.
The reason why we end up in Windsor is because of how renowned this dog teams are.
Shadow is Sarnia's second dog trained in Windsor.
Who is consistently recognized nationally as a top program in canine policing.
Meantime, Canine Officer Cole is now officially retired after serving the community for 8 years.
They became one of the best teams I've ever had the opportunity to coach. And I'm prepared to give the ultimate compliment to this team, which is our community, without question, has been made safer with you rolling on the streets.
His handler, Constable Eric Wilson, recalls early in their career, the drug squad couldn't find narcotics in a home, but Cole dead stopped on the back deck of the house.
Well, this is weird. Put him back in the truck and find a big hidden compartment under the deck, and it had a large amount of drugs and a large amount of money in there. And had he not been there, there's no question that would have gone undetected, and those drugs would have ended up on the street.
Constable Wilson will now go to a new unit within the service, while Cole will roam around his handler's property in retirement.
He runs around and hangs out with me and guards my garage and stuff now. So.
At the Windsor Police Training Branch, Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
We're looking forward to having Police Dog Shadow and Constable Vince back in Sarnia and what they're going to offer to our program. The sustainability of our dog program is now in place, and it's all thanks to what the Windsor Police Service offers.
That's Sarnia police officials expressing gratitude for Windsor's training program. They'll be returning with a 2-year-old German Shepherd now graduated. According to Sarnia's deputy police chief, a canine unit wasn't possible in Sarnia until they started training in Windsor.
In all the research that I did, I talked to numerous agencies across not only the province, but into Michigan as well. And every single time it was, you have to go to Windsor, you have to go to Windsor. It's just a testament to the quality of dogs that they produce here and the camaraderie that the team has.
The Timmins Chamber of Commerce Leaders Series luncheon today at the Porcupine Dante Club featured Matagami First Nation Chief Jennifer Constant. This is the first time a First Nation chief has been asked to be the keynote speaker at a Timmins Chamber of Commerce luncheon, and Chief Constant said she is honored to have been asked.
And to be able to come here and speak on all these wonderful things that are happening in our community, and hopefully you know, if there are any perspectives about First Nations, that I'm able to give them a really great insight into the high caliber of a nation that we are, and that fosters more opportunities and partnerships with people in the region.
Constance spoke about some of the food sovereignty projects underway in her community and how they can lead to nation transactions. And she also shared details about the Matagami Aki Limited Partnership that works to drive sustainable development for the community by building partnerships.
So partnerships to us are people that we know are respectful, that at the end of the day, it is mutually beneficial. We do negotiate, we do make agreements with whoever our partner is. So it's not a one-sided approach of us saying this is what is going to be included. Certainly we do have a standard and a threshold that we want to maintain and keep, but each partner has different priorities as well, and we want to be able to also factor that in.
Dumas is a local mining company that specializes in mine construction. Steve Black is its Director of Business Development and says the company has enjoyed a relationship with Matagami First Nation that's been developed over the last couple of years.
Essentially, we bring them in during the proposal process and discuss what aspects we can pursue and how we can approach it together as a partner. And really, it's about bringing them into the projects and the opportunities up front and discussing how we can maximize benefit to both parties.
Black says Dumas now also has a limited partner company called Aki Dumas, and when it bids for jobs within Matagami First Nation territory, it will do so under the Aki Dumas model. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
Some homes are already decked out for the holidays, and some homeowners spare no expense to have their properties look great for the festive season.
It never seems to fail. Every year when I do my Christmas and holiday lights, there always seems to be at least one or two strings that don't work, and it's hard to know when should you fix them and when should you throw them out.
Number one rule is to make sure that you unplug things before you attempt to fix them.
Kyle Tobin of Christmas Lights Toronto says his company has been decorating homes for the past 35 years. He says, unfortunately, many holiday lights are not built to last.
The problem is that consumer lights, retail version lights, are not designed to withstand more than 1 or 2 seasons, whereas commercial grade lights are meant to be replaceable. Parts can be retrofitted so that they can be maintained to last many years.
Tobin says wet, freezing temperatures are also hard on outdoor lights.
Brittle wire, water, and corrosion. Those are the biggest culprits of things that make a light strand disposable.
If you have a strand that won't light, there are 2 fuses behind a small door on the plug. Replacing them with fuses that came with your original set or that you purchased separately could fix the problem.
If this doesn't fix it, there's a good chance you need to throw out your lights. Plug her in, and if it works, then you've probably solved the problem.
Also check bulbs for corrosion.
When this corrosion happens from moisture getting in and age, you develop something that's going to interrupt the flow of electricity.
A recap: 4 common fixes for burnt-out string lights: replace the fuses, swap burnt-out bulbs, check bulbs and the cord for damage, and if bulbs are rust-colored and the wire is brittle and frayed, recycle the lights and get a new set. Tobin says using damaged lights is not worth the fire risk, as you want to be sure you have a safe holiday season. Pat Foran, CTV News.
As much as it's just a hockey game, it is not just a hockey game.
Police and fire crews stood side by side Wednesday, officially kicking off the inaugural Battle of the Badges charity hockey game, where all proceeds will support local cancer research.
In the fire service, cancer is obviously near and dear to our hearts. It is our #1 risk factor for injury, for line of duty deaths.
The Windsor Police Service and Windsor Fire and Rescue Services will face off February 4th at the WFCU Centre on World Cancer Day, in a game that hits close to home for many wearing the uniforms.
You know, over the years we've done Battle of the Badges in a different way, but this is the one that really means the most. I mean, this is everyone's been affected, and we've all heard that, and it couldn't be more true.
The funds raised will support research underway at the University of Windsor, giving the public a behind-the-scenes look at where donations make a difference.
In this building right here, the core building, we have equipment that doesn't exist everywhere in the world. You know, this is a place where we've been able to get the types of equipment that we can ask cutting-edge questions, and those questions can lead directly into patient care.
Researchers say keeping that work local means faster collaboration, better outcomes, and training the next generation of scientists at home.
If I can sell 3,000 tickets combined with the sponsorship dollars that we have, we will raise $70,000, and the Cancer Research Society will match that so that we can create an additional operational grant that will happen right here in Windsor in 2027.
The event is being organized in partnership partnership with Play for a Cure, led by cancer survivor Jeff Casey, whose motivation is deeply personal.
I was diagnosed with cancer about 17 years ago at what you would call the exact wrong time, because it was the day after our daughter was born.
17 years later, Casey says he's proud to turn his experience into action.
I was given this opportunity to survive, and so now I'm carrying on and trying to raise money, funds, awareness to support local cancer research so that we can create more survivors, that we can have better health outcomes for our cancer patients.
In Windsor, Chris Campbell, CTV News.
The Stoffergens both work at the Southern Alberta Veterinary Emergency Hospital in Okotoks. Lauren and Allison are now fostering Rhea. She was abandoned in an Okotoks dog park, tied to a post with a coat, blanket, boots, and her seizure medication.
Like the natural human response to say, oh, how could somebody do that? But being a veterinarian, being in veterinary medicine, you come to learn that it's not just about the animals, the care.
A Good Samaritan then dropped off Rhea on Saturday at Save.
Knowing that she came in with seizure medication, we knew that she couldn't stay here overnight alone in the clinic because she just had medical risk.
Her owner left a note saying they were leaving the country and could not care for her any longer.
The owners did love her, did care for her. They were probably in a situation where they were, between a rock and a hard place. From what we do know, they did try to surrender her to at least one or two other rescues.
Rhea has health issues and been on anxiety and seizure medication. The Stoffergens are hopeful to medically clear her in the next couple of weeks so she can be adopted to her forever home.
We had a lot of people who messaged us and said that they were immediately wanted to open their homes to her and wanted her to have a soft place to land. And I guess she's not the only dog who's going through something like this right now.
Paws for Change Rescue Foundation says there is an overpopulation issue and rescues are full. It says it receives anywhere from 50 to several hundred requests for intake weekly.
Rescues in Alberta and Western Canada and whole are dealing with basically a animal welfare crisis.
Tyson Fedor, CTV News, Okotoks.
If you're looking for a Christmas tree, Prince Albert National Park might be a great place to start. Visitors to Prince Albert National Park will have until December 23rd to harvest a Christmas tree from the community fuel break surrounding Waskesiu. The park says the harvest helps reduce the number of flammable trees.
Having those trees thinned out would slow the speed of an approaching wildfire and help give time for the community to prepare.
Visitors to this year's harvest will need to pick up Christmas tree activity passes and a map at the visitor center before chopping down their tree.
Chainsaws are not permitted, so bring a handsaw with you. Make sure that you dress in warm layers, so bring your mittens, bring your toque. You can bring a sled if you'd like to haul your tree away.
The park says around 160 visitors participated in last year's harvest. Christmas tree expert Ray Gaudette says it's important to get a live tree in water before the green membrane under the bark dries up.
Allow it to open up, and an hour and a half or 2 hours later, then what you would like to do is fill your stand with hot tap water, and what you're going to do is you're going to stimulate that membrane.
He says that tree owners should make sure the base of the tree has a fresh cut before it's brought indoors. Visitors to Prince Albert National Park will have to purchase a park pass until the free entry Canada Strong Pass comes back into effect December 12th. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Well, he's not faster than a speeding bullet, nor more powerful than a locomotive. This 4-year-old is proving to be a superhero.
Dynamo.
A super name.
Dynamo, yeah.
Whose not-so-secret identity is Innes Wright.
Are we done yet?
Are we done yet? A boy who, rather than talk about his abilities,
let's be done, okay?
would prefer to show how he can escape the confines of a sit-down interview with ease.
Okay, bye.
But before Innes demonstrates his true power, his granny, Joan Wright, reveals the Dynamo's origin story.
So we came here and they...
While Innes attempts to fix the camera, Joan says she first brought her grandson to this care home for a friend's 80th birthday party, where the boy met Don Monroe, pushing his wife Nancy in a wheelchair.
And he just muscled me aside and says, I want to do it.
So Don let him,
Oh, I thought it was great.
never imagining where the boy would ultimately lead them.
He bonded with her instantly. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, they certainly never expected for Innes to ask to visit again and again. And now, after almost 8 months of visiting weekly and participating in all sorts of activities with the seniors, to show his exuberance can't be contained.
And he just bursts in here and leaps into her arms. It lights up her day when he comes.
And she smiles the sort of smile that seemed so ever present in those years since they'd vowed in sickness and in health, until a recent series of setbacks made that smile increasingly elusive. So, you can imagine how grateful Don feels, seeing the dynamo bestowing his superpowers on his beloved Nancy.
He generates that energy and that love.
And that's the story of how young Innes revealed he was the sort of hero who could expand hearts with a single bound.
We just love him to pieces.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Duncan.